Back. I hope you have enjoyed your break, short break. So we're just going to continue with what I've been teaching you in the part three. So this is part four of the Paintology drawing tutorial to show you that tools are not everything people like to think, digital tools. And as I explained, there's a reason why digital tools have become the forefront of digital drawing. That's only because of the evolution of the digital art medium, which started at the beginning of, the PC, the IBM PC that came around 1980, and then continued to become mainstream. And then what really changed everything was the World Wide Web, when it became a major breakthrough for people to access web pages online and to get information. And it was a huge started a huge revolution. More people wanted websites. That's that's about the time I got into it as well. So actually decided that I was going to teach myself learning web development and web stuff, and that's how I got into it. And I'm very appreciative of that. So So that's when digital art came into being, not to serve the drawing that we do or traditional artists, it was to serve a niche. And the niche was to allow you to draw brochures, to illustrations, graphics, GIFs, you name it, logos. All this was necessary, and Photoshop was the king of the digital. At that time, Corel Draw was big as well, so I used Corel Draw as well. So that's when how I got into digital from that point of view, but not necessarily from drawing. I never considered it as a drawing medium as such, like the drawing medium I consider Paintology. So I never really felt that I needed to create digital art from scratch. I mean, for logos, brochures, yes, perfectly fine. It worked really well, but not for drawing, the pleasure of drawing that we know, come to understand about traditional art like acrylics and watercolors, pastels, charcoal. And I did that prior to doing drawing with Paintology. So what am I going to show you? I want to show you a few other things. So as you know, in the last part three, I showed you how to use the shade brush here. And the shade brush, I was mistakenly thinking it wasn't dark enough because I had the trace bar here. It can be easily done. And we did the outline first using this, copying this in a trace mode using the shade brush. Then, then I, then I showed you this wonderful toggle button. Unfortunately, the toggle button is no longer available here right now for this tutorial, and this is something I may, so if you'll excuse me, include in the next release. But you can see that you don't need to have that. You can complete the drawing. Toggle with save. This is how I communicate with my developers. I save the drawing, and there you go. So now that's ready for me to review when I get to it. So this is perfectly beautiful way to draw. This is one of the tutorials we picked up, and I'm going to show you a few more items. So in the my paintings, I have all these drawings that I've made, and I showed you, I believe I showed you this one where I was using the shade button as well, shade brush, to make this drawing. I just started it, and obviously I haven't finished it, but you can practice on that as well. Many tutorials. So remember, it's not a question of diving into the draw tool and doing what you think should be there. There's, like the layer function, auto correction, all that. If that's what you're looking for, I'm sad to say you'll be disappointed. But if you've come here for the real reason of improving your art techniques, being able to draw like the way I draw here, then you've come to the right place, okay? But don't diss me for not lacking tools, because I'm showing you far greater value than just using tool sets. I'm showing you our techniques, which very, very few apps, in fact, I don't know any apps that will show you that. Even in Procreate, as an example, you go to their online classes, they will gloss over our techniques in about a matter of minutes, and then they will go head straight to show you all the tools. That's it. Honestly, that's all they do. There's nothing, they're not showing you real techniques like tones and values, improving drawing strokes and all that. So to show you some more drawings here, this one you can see, it's in the grayscale mode, that's why. So what, I need to change that actually. So let me show you. This was a drawing I did here a few days ago of the mountain scene. I got really into the large landscape scenes and I was kind of intrigued by it, so I'll go and show you a few more. Another one that I did, let's see, this one, I really like this one. This one, you see, this was all done on the phone, and you'd be hard pressed to make out that this was done digitally. I think anyone will be hard pressed. It was done less than 2 hours, so you can see kind of things that you can achieve, if you have these art techniques down. So if you like drawing like this, if you're into anime, then I suggest illustration. I suggest that you use all the other drawing apps. They've got all the tools you need for creating the perfect lines and all that. So the other drawing that I showed you was this one. This was a drawing I did in Paint by Numbers. So you pretty much select the numbers in. There's many tutorials, right? Let's go for the line brush. Take it up a bit. So this was, you see, I select the blue, I select the green shows up, and then you can, so I think I showed you earlier on one of the drawings how to make this Paint by Numbers. So what does that do? It really helps you to develop your drawing strokes. A lot of you have no idea what drawing strokes are, or have never done it before. And those of you who haven't done it before, I'm going to show you a couple of tutorials that will help you get there really quickly. So let's go to video tutorials here, video. So start from the home page here, click on my paintings, then click on video guides. Can you see here on the top left, 34 video guides. What that means is that there are selected video tutorials that allows you to take that example of that woman's face. First of all, I started off drawing the lips here. This is an actual drawing of the lips and the eyes, then the nose, and then I combined them into this main drawing of the woman's face. And they're very, fundamental tools that will get you going. This first one is the Paint by Numbers. Let's take this trace drawing. If you've never drawn before, this would be a good one to draw. So this is showing you what to do here. Look, the video again. You should know by now that the toggle button will switch between the video and your drawing. And this talks a bit more about, the whole concept of Paintology. Okay, so here, see, now watch what's happening here, there. So this would be really good for an absolute beginner, yeah? So what did this beginner, how did this drawing get started? Let's have a look. First of all, I opened this tutorial, then I selected a brush. I kept the line brush to 100%. Then I got 1.77% line brush. I'm looking for the right size, so it's 2%. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. And then I'm using a 2.38% with a grey brush. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. So that's what we're going to do. Right, so 2.5 is fine. And then a grey brush. So I got this color picker and selected the tone of the red, and then I believe I went to a color like that. And let's see if that works fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then so we're going to put this midpoint above here. So this is for like absolute beginners. We have really want to know, they believe they can't draw. Well, believe me, you can. If you can write, you can surely draw. Now look carefully here. We've got, I'm on this, so I always keep it the halfway line, just above the halfway mark. That's because I can pick colors, and this, you see, I've got different colors of using the color picker, right? But I'm not going to show you block coloring just yet, maybe after this. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a line drawing. This is called a line drawing. So simply, I don't pick the colors. Remember, I changed the colors, so I'm going to go back to the colors I had here. So let's see if this is the right color. Yeah, that's fine. That works well. So then this is my canvas, obviously, and this is the rose image, my reference. So line drawing. So I simply trace. That's all I do. That's one. That's two. So simply trace. Okay. Don't worry about if it's too wiggly. Don't worry about that. As you keep drawing, your confidence will build up. And then try and do it very quickly, rapidly, right? Don't worry about it. As long as you're reasonably close to it. You see how I'm speeding up? Because I started off slowly means that you're too hesitant, And as you speed up, you're less hesitant, and you just remember, you're not expected to draw this perfectly. And as you get better and better, your drawing strokes will improve. Remember, I've been drawing for ages. Well, not ages, like a few years, but so this is all I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I'm just picking out the edges, the perimeter of that rose. Picking out these lines. This is a line drawing. It's something my daughter has been doing for a while. She's 9 years old, and she considers herself to be the master of line drawing, and she's shown me a few things. She and I have a good discussion on painting and drawing as well. We always enjoy each other's thoughts on painting and drawing. So here you are. So see this line? Should be able to see it as you zoom in. Let's go through here really quickly, rapidly. Don't worry about if you've got it perfectly right. If you do, then you're really in the early stages of giving up, because you're always saying, oh, I can't draw this. You're going to do what many of you do and say, that's all I could draw. And that's why I've basically told everyone that I don't have what it takes to draw. And then you're blaming it you're actually saying it's a skill that you don't have when you haven't practiced there. And then I'm going to go here. All right. In fact, I'm going to show you block coloring. I'm thinking how I'm going to present this to you. Look, I'm actually adjusting to get the little, I'm not worried about getting every detail, but I'm actually making it a little jagged. These plants have jagged lines, right? the rose. You know that when you go and pick a rose, you've got to be careful of the thorns, right? Beautiful, beautiful rose, but the most wonderful flower that's been passed on through generations, you know, for as a gift, and wonderful in nature, but yet it has thorns, you know. I think I read a poem about that. I have to check. Okay, I'm just following these lines, not to the exact detail, just enough so you can see how, see what it looks like. See what it's done so far. Pretty impressive, isn't it, for how quickly that was done? You see, I didn't expect you to have that level of speed, but that came to me so naturally. To me, I don't think twice about it, and that's because I practiced quite a lot. Not practice, but I've been doing drawing. And I don't consider it practice. When I do drawing, it becomes such a wonderful feeling of being able to draw on the phone. And if you think about all the others who're saying, "Oh, I can't draw on the phone, it's a glass surface and that." Come on, I don't even think about it. I think when I consider the feeling of having a pen or a stylus against a glass surface, I felt that in the first one or two drawings because, you know, just getting used to it. After that, I've never really given it a thought, honest with you, never, ever. And then, in fact, I was just excelling my ability in drawing on the finding more and more wonderful things in the digital medium. And then, you know, if you want to make this drawing on a pencil and paper, right, you'd need a pencil and a paper and an A4 sheet, letter size, whatever, and then be able to and get the colored pencils. Yeah, but here you've got the phone. It's wonderful, isn't it? You're lucky if you have an Android phone because the Paintology is only available for Android users. So now let's go ahead and color it. This is where I'm going to introduce block coloring, right? So how can we do this? Well, let's look at it. We've got this brush size, and let's say if we want to color this red, right? So if we want to color this red, we can do it a few ways, right? We can go to here and say, here, look, I'm going to do it like paint by numbers, right? Or what, and then change the size and then say, well, it's not a good brush size. Maybe I need a smaller brush, yeah? That might work, isn't it? Or even smaller, right? Let's try that. Let's try this size. Yeah, that's a good size. Okay, so we can go go through, look at these colors, and then say that's a red that looks like this this red, I think, you know, and then go back and then just paint it red. And then the dark areas, you can say that looks a little dark, so we'll go here and then pick that dark here, right? You don't have to do that, so I'm going to show you what block coloring does. You go to the halfway point, and this is where it becomes really powerful. And this is where you learn about tones and values. Tones and values is no longer an academic point in painting and drawing. It now becomes a practical reality. Okay, so how does it work? So we've got it zoomed in. I'm going to pick this color picker. So I got it halfway. So what happens with this color picker, it only works on the reference image here on the top half or your drawing here. Okay, so let's see the color picker in our drawing. Color picker, and then we're going to put it on here. Simply gone to white, nothing else, right? Color picker, pick this, the line we did. Look, let's pick the correct black color, right? The dark gray color. Okay, so let's undo that. Color picker, this. Look, it's picked the exact color of this area here, right? And then color picker here, it's picked the exact color, right? Very well, that's all it is. Now, let's now go to the just above the halfway mark. And what is that going to do? It's going to select color pick color from the actual reference image. So that's the color, and I'll show you how it does that. Again, look, it's picked these two colors of the reference image, which means we can take these colors and apply it to our drawing. Very simple. So pick a color here, and then pick a color there, in that area, and then pick a color here. And so I'm simply, what am I doing? Simply getting the exact tone colors. Here it's a bit darker, right? There. The exact colors and applying it to our own painting. I'll show you what I mean. Right there, we got a little bit darker, but we still got the right tone. Right, so I'll do a few color picker and then get the color here. Color picker. Color picker. So notice I'm actually selecting color picker every now and then. Alright, so let's see what we have. See, managed to transfer some of that colors to us. So we're going to do the rose. I think we've just carry on doing the rose. So remember to keep it there and put all the colors down. So what you're doing is you're essentially picking all these different colors. Notice that they're all different tones. They're actually tones. And most academics of art will say these tones change, but we have to mix the colors. That's the beauty of digital, is that we don't have to mix colors. We got the most powerful tool of all, color picker. Right there, can you see the tones changing there? And then here it's a little dark red, and we're applying that with the color picker. Right here. I'm trying to keep the line sort of there, not too fussed about that. There. Just go over it very quickly. Color picker. There. It's a good brush size we picked. And then if you want to, you can change the brush size. Color picker, change the brush size and get to the tiny little area, especially near the bud, right? When you go near the bud, it's getting smaller. Right, down here, just get these colors, and then get these colors. Wherever the brush fits, yeah, get that different color, body of colors here. Just see that? This is normally used, this first method of painting, making a drawing using the block color. So it's really no drawing experience required as such. Some of you will probably get what I'm saying with very little information. Others will probably take a bit of time understanding what's going on. So it's fine. So, come back to the video and keep looking at it, And then you're free to comment as well. Don't be shy about putting any kind of comment, because I really want to understand how you're thinking about these tutorials. I don't like to feel I'm talking to myself all the time. See, I'm picking all these colors, and that's all I'm doing. You notice what I'm going to do with this, right? I can see here the color here, right? Color region here, and then another region here, and another region here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick the color picker, and then do color here, then another color region here, and anywhere where I see the similar form of color, like here I can see this, color here. This really rapidly improves your ability in tones, your appreciation of tones, which is fundamental. Can you see that where it's crossing here? That's it. You see here as well, there's a darker, in my opinion, up here, and then it gets lighter, so that's what I'm following. This looks very similar, right? And then the same here, you can see the similar tones, but don't assume they're all similar tones. So that's why I'm using the color picker every now and then, you know, not going too far and making it too blocky. See that red color, how it changed? And then similarly here, here, and then here. Look at that. Let's see what we've got so far. Isn't that wonderful how we managed to capture all of that? And now we can basically get to these smaller grooves by, of course. So the rule of thumb is always go down half of the brush size. Go half the brush size. Okay. So these are techniques that you're learning, and you may think that this is all for fun. Have you seen some of the paint by numbers where you click a number, right, and then the colors appear, right? I mean, that's okay if you like that sort of thing, but it's definitely not going to improve your drawing skills. In fact, paint by numbers was the one that launched me back into my comfort zone of drawing, because it allowed me to paint, and this will probably allow you to also to paint, show you how easy it is to draw. So easy, you'll be surprised. It actually helps you build your confidence in painting and drawing, because you see results. You know, you don't have to doodle and get the results you're looking for, or listen to a teacher. You're basically doing it by hand, practicing these important. Okay, we've got a good brush size. See how we've got that brush size? This helps you many ways to improve your drawing. Trust me, it helps you in so many ways. You'd be surprised. Anywhere where you see little spots of colours that you can use that. This is about lighter colour. Yeah, it is lighter colour. Because we used a bigger broad brush. So let's see what we have here. Isn't that wonderful, isn't it? Look at that flower. Red flower. It's lovely. And now we're going to go here. Oops. Forgot. Gotta have that here, isn't it? To get the exact colour tones, right? So I'll just finish this really quickly. So I'm going over it very quickly, but you know, you can do the same here. So have we got everything I need? I think we have, except for that little area that we've left behind there. Where is that? There's another red colour you can see here. Look at that, isn't that amazing? So now we're gonna save this and then open it up again, because you don't have to do this. So I'm going to my paintings, and because I'm working on a prototype, so you can see here, right? Look at this, wonderful. So I'm going to show you one other thing here, or we can carry on doing the green. Should we? Yeah, let's do the green now, and I'm going to show you Alright, so let's do the green. Yeah, right. And you can keep this brush, but I believe it's a little too small. So I'm going to go back to 6-7%. Alright, pick the green tones. Yes, notice I'm picking the color picker, so the darker tones, right? So darker tones are here. Have you seen me accessing tools for this kind of drawing? No, you haven't. So now you can see the real power of digital drawing if you know some of the techniques, yeah? So just going here and here. So might as well show you this because see, I'm going very fast. You can take your time. You know, I don't expect you to reach this level of speed that I'm doing because, you know, I've been drawing a lot longer than you have. So we're going to try and finish this drawing since I've looked at the clock and there's plenty of time for me to show you this. So I want you to practice this because remember, it's not all about showing you the tools and the way you go. It's actually showing and demonstrating you these powerful tools without having to access hundreds of tools, right? So I keep selecting the color pickers, which is what you want. And that will give the tonal variations. And notice I'm following the strokes of the leaves, the direction of the leaves to give it more realism. And we're just using the line brush. So most of it is going into drawing. I'm not accessing tools. It's ridiculous just to access tools, isn't it? You want to be spending more of your time, 95% of your time drawing, 90% of your time, and 10% of your time accessing tools, right? Not the other way around like most people. They're constantly accessing the digital tools. And the app developers are perfectly happy to give you more tools. And in fact, they will ask you to pay to access these tools as well, and that's how you become tool dependent. Look, I'm drawing just like I would if I had a traditional pencil and paper. Look at that. Feeling is so good. So lovely. Look at that. Quickly, rapidly changing the brush size. Look at that, how quickly that was done, right? Things are record breaking, aren't you? Look at that. Now, what I'm going to show you is something very interesting. Well, we've left that little nudge of green there behind that rose. What are you doing there? Okay. You thought you could get away there. So anyway, so we got that. So now let's look at this leaf. The leaf is probably a good idea where I can show you. Now look at that area, this part. That I want to show you this part here. Okay, I'm going to show you this part. Right, look at it. Let's take a good look at it. Okay, there's two ways of bringing that texture and tones. You can do it two ways: block coloring at the smaller resolution of brush, or you can also get these tonal variations, a gradient, using the other. I'm going to show you both methods. So first of all, block coloring is probably the easiest. Take it down 1%. Remember we had 3%, and now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up here and just pick up these lovely deep black tones, and then just spot check these tones when I see where they are, right there. Then I can see it's picking up these tones automatically, obviously, right there, and then I'm going to get that, right, and this is always a random color picker, and then you can go for these lighter midtones that are happening around as well. Okay, and then you've got a darker tone here. Okay, this is just one of the techniques I'm going to show you here. Now let's go big. Look at that. It's got to look like disaster gone wrong, but actually it works. Look, see how it works. You'll be like surprised, thinking, God, how did that happen? But that's all it is, right? I'm going to do it again for this part. Let's see. Look at the actual tones going on. Dark, light, dark, very dark, light, light. So we're just going to do that, okay? So we can do it there, see? Pick these colors and give it form. Just pick it, the actual tones happening here. In fact, this brush is a little on the small side, so I'm gonna, right, color picker, because it's picking the localized tones, right, and then just get that tone. I'm not too worried that it's encroached away here. You can if you want to, but I ain't worried. Now let's see what we've got. Again, we've got lovely colors, and you can get away with that, right? Now let's do this leaf here. Right, look at this leaf. Right, the same thing. Can zoom in and do the same thing. So color picker, get this. What is this is doing? I want to show you this method and skip the other method, which I'm gonna show maybe next time. What's this doing is actually getting you to appreciate dark and light tones, the things that makes this whole art piece more realistic, giving it realism. Yeah, I can see there. I can see this mark there, so I'm going to enhance that. The dark and light tones really gets you to understand. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do this. See that these colors? Just pick them up, but just make a scribbly mark. Nothing. See this wonderful color there? Just another color there, and then this. Don't take it outside of where it is. And then there's a dark tan color picker, and then this is what we have. Again, we've created texture on this leaf. It's beginning to look almost, rather than blocky, it's looking more realistic. Let's continue down this. We're doing really well, okay? So let's continue. See that lovely white knot? We can get that as well. And all these beautiful marks. See that color? Pick that color and then just Look at all these tones. There's no way you could have known that these tones existed, but through the color picker you can. And that's the reason why artists who are good at painting and drawing are exceptionally good on the tone. And this teaches you tonal understanding. It's the reason why they can draw so well and paint, because they know what tones are required to mix the paint. So this, the darker roots that I didn't capture. Right, I'm capturing these now. There, look, it's darker. So I'm doing this really closely. See this there. So while we're going over this, we're actually refining the whole drawing as well. We're making it better than before. It's the part of the drawing process which I haven't got time to explain, but maybe in another class I will explain to you about the drawing process. It's all about drawing. There it is. Let's see where we are on that. Again, we've done an excellent job of the, and then now we can finish off with this blocky leaf, right? Why not? Right, again, halfway, and then continue to use the techniques I showed you, just to let these, just go over it again, like this. Any areas that you see have not been done before, right? Gives the illusion, and I'm following the strokes. Notice I'm following the strokes of the stem tributaries, which feeds the leaf, isn't it? Passes nutrients. That's a bit darker there, and a little bit darker. Let's see what we got. Look at that. It's amazing, right? You think, wow, how did we manage to do that? Let me take that, some of that tones out. And that's not changing the density or anything. So we got that. Now let me save that. Save. And then I'm going to finish off with the rosebud, the rose itself, right? Because this is what I have to do anyway. So let's see here if we can do something a little different. Maybe I'm going to introduce you. You can carry on using this tiny brush, small 2.6, and just going over it again to get more tones out of it. But I'm going to show you something different here. So for example, look at this region here. Can you see how that is a little choppy, right? We want to blend it. So how can we do this? This is where the density comes in. Wonderful. I'm going to take the density down 30%. So that means the tonal value, the tones of that actual color is 30% of 100%. Yeah. So if you're 100%, that tone, if you did one stroke, will be, let me show you as an example, right? So as an example, okay, that's the tone, okay, that's 100%. Now let's take it to 50%. See that? It's 50% of the tonal value. But here's something that happens. Let me show you what happens again. We take it to 100%, And let's do it again. Take it to 100% where it was, where we've been using all this time. And let's go over this again. Have you seen any change in tones? No. It's like an ink pen. Now let's go to 50% or 40%. Right there. Now let me watch what happens when I go over it again. Another turn, until we get to the top of this tone. So what does that mean? You should immediately know that it's just like a pencil. A pencil stroke. You do one pencil stroke, then go over it again, it gets darker, right? That's what we do when we blend, and good artists are able to blend. So now I've shown you this. We're going to change the brush size to a reasonable size, 6%, and blend. So we've got this 46%. Let's take it to 40% or 36%. Doesn't matter, you experiment. And now let's pick this color. And then I'm just going to try and blend that color around the adjacent areas. See that? That that is almost practically gone, isn't it? That line. That line is practically gone. Right? And look how it's blended. It's amazing. That's the beauty of this. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? And then here we can take that, blend it. Okay? Pick the color picker. Just blend. That is the blending action at work. Right? Then you can even take it down. I think it should go down a little bit, so we have a more higher control. This is the blending action, okay? And then here, look how we blended that, right? And then here, look how we're going to blend this, right? Go here. Look at that. You've seen me access a blending tool? No. Why would you want to access a blending tool? It was far too complicated. Oh, friend, you don't want to do that. Let's see what we have here. Got a light thing. Okay, now it's actually, this is a different petal, the same petal. And that's what we're going to do. Right? So we can look at our drawing and try and capture, using this brush, try and capture what's going on there, right? Look at that. So that's blended as well. So you can capture this, or you can take the adjacent color and blend it. That's the same thing. I can take that blended color, I can pick and retreat, make it look realistic. And then I got this blended color. Look at that. Beautifully blended, isn't it? Then we can say, well, I can take this blend color and just blend it. Look, that line's practically gone, isn't it? And then here, do it all the way, and then you find that you have a much better realistic picture. Do you know why that happened? That's because I picked the white of that. I should have picked the adjacent red. That's it. And then pick a different tone to give that depth. Why not? You can do all kinds of things. And then here, let's look at this. Again, so we have this color going here, and then this color sort of saying, you know, a little pronounced, so, and then here, tailor that, right? Just go around, and then I haven't got to that stage, so let's see what we have here. We've got a different tone here, right? But just can use the color picker still to get the exact tone. See what I'm doing? Yeah. And look at that. That is very blocky, isn't it? That's not really a different color. So we can pick a light color here and just float it back, and then get a darker color for this, giving the illusion. The same thing. Just trying to get this. Look at this black. It's like a gradient. Look at that. We've got that gradient now, isn't it? And look at that. That's also, it's not the end of a petal, right? And just pick up the gradient and just match it. So it's like a falling off gradient. Now I'm going over this really quickly, but only because of the question of time. And then here, same thing here. It's a gradient that falls off. Right? So now you can take it back. Right? Okay, there. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? And then again here, what do we have here? I think we come back to where we started. So again, we have a darker tone here. In fact, we have a darker tone here. And then just lift this tone up, and then what do we have here? Then we can say this tone goes here. And then we have right. Let's see what that flower looks. Did you think that's coming out like realistic realism, right? I believe it is. So now all we need to do is correct these little tidy areas, which we can do quite easily. Let's take it up a bit, right? And let's work on these details here, right? So we went with the gray perimeter, so now we can take that out. Let's take it up to 40%, okay? You have to, honestly, you have to experiment. Let's take that down, because that's a bit too big. See how big it is? Right, so we're going to take it down 2%. Take that color. Right. In fact, it's smaller than that. Can you believe it? That's all right. So now we can go here. Right, just finish these off. Right, we don't need these colors, so we're just tidying up basically. So you can see here we have, we've got a darker, so we can pick that dark tone, let it filter into the next. And then just round it off here. Now you really need to practice. I'm not going to show you every little tiny facet of this work, right? I'm just going to show you enough for you to get on with it, okay? That color should be. That's it. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but you know what I'm saying. And it's not, no, that's a lovely pink color, so I'm going to take that right there. Wow, look at that. So this one, whoa, this goes all the way nicely. Wow. And then ends up like this. And then what we have here, wow, look at that pink. That line of pink goes all the way. And you'll see how it gets better and better, yeah? How I'm doing this. Yeah, so blending that. And then keeping on the outskirts of that. And then we have actually a grey banding here, so we can just it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be exact. Let's see where we are. Almost done, isn't it? This is our drawing, can you believe it? You wouldn't believe, we haven't even finished half the drawing. So I can increase that and then do this tone. So here, I'm going to take it down because I need a thicker brush to diffuse that region. Do you see that region there? It's two. Right, so I can go here and say I need this lighter tone. It's too dark there. Right, and then I need lighter tone there. You know, you can take any kind of drawing and make it realistic, okay? Right there. And then again, look at these colors, beautiful. We've got the tone right here. And then take it down again, one, and get these. Then we got this. Take that with the tone, and then merge this one there. Merge this so it looks soften it instead of choppy. And then get the colors up here at the top of the lips, right? Alright, just blend it there. See how fast I'm going with that? But that's only because I've got some experience and knowledge under my belt. Right, that's only because of that. Then let's pick this and then just blend it in, right? I can see anything. Right, and then let's go to the heart now. Wow, so this color. So I want that color there. Pick that black tone. And pick this tone that's happening here, and then take it up. So I have more, so I don't have to do too many strokes. There. Then again, it's that lovely pink that's going on here. Yeah, that's a lovely pink. There, and pick that red. I reckon we're finished. Look at that. Wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, look at that shading we got on that. Isn't that amazing? You can see here. I'm quite pleased with that. I don't know about you, but here we can see if we can go and experience our techniques down. Just see, and then take the black and lift it up. There you are. So this is a wonderful rose that shows. So oh, we've done. Actually, I got too carried away. Actually, so we're pretty much done. So I'm gonna put my Paintology here. Logo Paintology. Sometimes I feel I've forgotten my writing, you know, and Paintology, okay? There you are. Paintology, all finished. I hope you really enjoyed this. So just to show you the power of techniques, art techniques. So please do subscribe and let me know if you have any comments. I'm happy to answer them. And like and everything, of course. And if you've enjoyed this tutorial, I can bring you more. And you can comment on yourself. And I wanted to show you community, but you can post this drawing in community. So let me save that. Don't want to lose. Okay, so community is this one. Yeah, you see, people have made starting to draw with Paintology. See here, people are making an effort. Not bad. And you know, there's someone who did the nose. But you can post here and just put a hash to produce FERDOUSE, and then I'll sure to look at it. But I look at the painting, so I'll able to provide you feedback. So to sign up to community, you need a social login. So that's the community, and I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial as much as I have drawing. So I'll hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, bye bye.